My cheeks burned. "It was special," I said. "I made the slime into a pet. He's purple all over with a rounded head, a teeny mouth, and big eyes. He's about this big." I held up my hands to show the size of a kitten. "And he's just the cutest thing I've ever seen." "You were talking to the slime like it was alive," Claire said. "Weirdo." "I didn't let anyone see it," I told Mr. Goldblatt. "But Claire kept asking me about it, and then she took a long time going to the bathroom at lunch. She pretended the sink was broken, but really she went into my backpack." "I didn't take anything out of it," she said. Now she's lying again. "I'm not. I swear on my dog Buddy's life that I'm not." Mr. Goldblatt's phone rang, and he held up his hand again.
"Hello?"
he said into the phone.
"Oh, Bill. Thanks for getting back to me so quickly. Hang on, please."
He put his hand over the mouthpiece and looked down at us.
"Girls, I have to deal with the order for a new smart board in the auditorium," he said. "Piper, I'm sorry you lost your slime. But Claire says she didn't take it, and I believe her."
"Is Piper going to be punished for saying I did something when I didn't?" Claire asked.
"Yes,"
Mr. Goldblatt said. "What?" I asked at the same time that Claire said, "Good." I felt the tears pricking again. First, I got punished at home. Now I was going to be punished at school. Worst of all, Cosmo was still missing.
"You're both going to be punished,"
Mr. Goldblatt said.
"We don't falsely accuse people at this school, Piper. But we don't touch other people's property either, Claire. So this afternoon, you two are going to stay an extra half hour to help Mr. Leon sweep the third-grade classrooms."
Mr. Leon is the janitor at school. "But I was a good citizen at lunch," Claire said. "I put paper towels down so the floor wouldn't get too wet."
"It's our job to be good citizens all day long, every day,"
Mr. Goldblatt said.
"Mrs. Carrion will take care of letting your parents know what's happening. Go on now. I need to finish this phone call."
He uncovered the mouthpiece.
"Bill, I'm back."
He waved one of his giant hands at us to let us know we were supposed to walk out the door, and so we did. Chapter 11. The Clean Team. Mrs. Carrion gave us a note to bring to Ms. Serrato. By the time we got back to class, show and tell was over. Not that I cared. The only thing that I cared about was Cosmo. I couldn't concentrate on any of the afternoon lessons. I pictured Cosmo escaping from wherever Claire had hidden him and wandering through the halls of our school looking for me. He couldn't talk, so he couldn't ask anyone how to find me. And even if he could talk, he turned back to slime whenever anyone saw him. Besides me, kids could run into the halls and squish him to death under their shoes. The bell rang at the end of the day. Everyone was dismissed, except for Claire and me. We had to wait for Mr. Leon. Miss Serrato sat at her desk and did paperwork. Claire and I sat next to each other at our table B seats. Cosmo, where are you?" I thought. "Stop staring at me," Claire said. "I'm not staring." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "That's enough," Ms. Serrato said.
"Knock, knock,"
a voice called from the doorway.
"Hey there, Mr. Leon," Ms. Serrato said. "Looks like you have some helpers today."
She picked up her bag.
"Have a good afternoon, girls," she told us.
"Tomorrow is a new day."
"All right, clean team,"
Mr. Leon said.
"You ready to make some moves?"
"Yeah," Claire and I mumbled. Mr. Leon cupped a hand to his ear.
"I said, you ready to make some moves?"
"Yeah," we said a little bit louder.
Mr. Leon said. "Call me crazy, but I don't think you two are happy to be hanging out with me this afternoon."
"I'm sorry," I told Mr. Leon. "It's not because of you. Something important to me is missing. That's why I'm unhappy." It's just slime, Claire said, rolling her eyes. And I'm unhappy because Piper thinks it's my fault, but it's not.
Are there any distinguishing characteristics about the missing slime?
Mr. Leon asked. Oh, yeah, I said. It's purple and as big as a kitten, but with a rounded head, big eyes, a teeny mouth, and little arms that are just long enough for cuddling. Claire rolled her eyes again. Have you seen anything like it? I asked.
I don't believe I have,
Mr. Leon said.
But I'll keep an eye out now. Lucky for you, I happen to know the best method for finding lost things.
What?
Cleaning,
he said. He turned to Claire.
And even if it's not your fault that Piper's slime is missing, helping to find it would be a good citizen thing to do.
Yeah, but it's not like I'll get to make morning announcements or anything, she said.
Hey, you never know,
Mr. Leon said.
So, what do you say? Can we get started?
Fine, Claire said. Okay, I said.
Fist bump,
Mr. Leon said. He held out a fist, and we both bumped it.
Now, on to Mrs. Wade's classroom.
Why don't we start right where we are? Claire asked.
I always start with Mrs. Wade's room,
Mr. Leon said.
You know why?
Why?
Because she teaches in classroom 3A, and A comes before B in the alphabet. Let's make some moves.
He bobbed his head as he crossed the hall. Claire and I just regular walked. Mrs. Wade had put all her students' names up on the board on sunshine-taped construction paper. In our classroom, our names are on diamonds. Mrs. Wade's room also had the desks set up in rows. Ms. Serrato had pushed our desks together to make Table A and Table B. Mr. Leon told us to lift the chairs onto the desks. That way, it'd be easier to sweep under them. I checked under every single desk looking for Cosmo, but I didn't find him. When all the chairs were lifted, Mr. Leon did the sweeping. Claire and I took turns holding the dustpan.
Good job, clean team,
Mr. Leon said.
Now on to 3B. Let's make some moves.
Back in our classroom, we lifted the chairs again. I looked for Cosmo under every desk, especially Claire's desk, but he wasn't there. I need a break, Claire said after the last chair was lifted. She leaned against the back cabinets, accidentally knocking Mr. Swimmer's fish flakes onto the floor. Uh-oh.
No biggie,
Mr. Leon said.
That's what the broom is for. Can you bring over the dustpan?
I don't have it, Claire said. Me neither, I said. You used it last, she said. No, you did. No, you. Oh, maybe I did, she said. But that means it was your turn to remember to bring it back here. Mr. Leon started to laugh. What's so funny? Claire asked.
Nothing at all,
Mr. Leon said.
You two take a break. I'll grab the dustpan.
He went across the hall. I scooped up a handful of fish flakes. Why are you doing that? She asked. Mr. Leon said he'd sweep it up. Just getting a head start, I said. You're only doing that to be a better good citizen. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. She slid off the back cabinets, scooped up a giant handful of fish flakes, and ran toward the garbage can next to Ms. Serrato's desk. Ah! She gasped. She took a couple steps backward and knocked into the whiteboard. The flakes she was holding fell to the ground. What happened? I asked. There's something alive in the garbage can. My heart started thumping. I raced over. Could it be him? Please, please let it be him. Cosmo! I cried.
What do you think is going to happen to Cosmo now that Claire has seen him alive?